My wife fell silent, and to my horror, I felt someone on the other side of the door take hold of the handle. The door was pulled, not hard at first. Then again, and again, and again. Not jerkily, but insistently and forcefully, so that each time the gap in the door grew larger. I gritted my teeth, surrendering to the silent confrontation. Every muscle in my body tensed. But it was useless. Another minute, and the same dead white eye stared at me through the doorway. My wife's face seemed even more disfigured. Her face was twisted. Her eyes blinked frequently and senselessly, her mouth opened and closed without making a sound. Saliva dripped down her chin. The monster tried to slip his face into the gap, but the gap wasn't big enough. I could see one eye, then the other, and sometimes only her nose and chin. At some point she froze, moved away from the slit, and stared at me silently. For the first time there was some meaningfulness in that ghastly, bestial countenance.
Bestia.
The monster whispered hoarsely, and at the same moment he let go of the doorknob. I was left in silence again. I heard the one who had recently been my favorite wife shuffle her feet on the floor and move toward the bed. After a few minutes, the springs creaked and everything went quiet. I realized I could let go of the door, but I didn't, just gripped the knob tighter and cried quietly.
Leon?
A quiet, familiar voice.
Leon, where are you?
My wife. It was her.
Leon.
She stirred on the bed, exhaled noisily and sniffed her nose.
Leon?
The reverse transformation frightened me more than anything that had preceded it. I licked my parched lips nervously and answered without looking away from the door. I'm here, in the kitchen.
Are you smoking again?
A disgruntled note appeared in her voice. Yes, I am smoking.
Honey, get me some water, please.
Okay. By sheer force of will, I unclenched my hands and went into the kitchen. I was frightened by every patch of darkness, every object that could be a creature. As if on prosthetics, I made it to the kitchen, poured water, and returned to the door. Gathering all my resolve, I stepped inside. At the last moment, I thought, what if it was a trap? What if the demon was faking it and waiting for me in its arms right now? But no, on the bed lay my wife. Hotly loved, tender and infinitely beautiful. She was pale and looked ill. And that didn't surprise me in the least. I froze in the doorway. My hands were shaking. The water was about to spill out of the glass.
What's the matter with you?
My wife raised herself up on one elbow. Nothing.
Give me a drink.
I went into the room, put the fallen chair back in its place, went to the bed, and handed my wife a glass. She greedily drank every last drop and leaned back on the pillow, letting out a short moan. How do you feel? I asked.
My head hurts. And my stomach. There's a nasty tugging sensation.
Do you need a pill?
No. Good night.
Good night. My wife closed her eyes. I lay down beside her and pulled the blanket up to my chin. Soon she was breathing calmly and evenly, as sleepers do. I, of course, could not sleep. After about 20 minutes, she turned on her side and hugged me. I shrank into a ball of horror. My bloody chest ached, but it was nothing compared to what was going through my mind. I decided to pray, even though I had never done so, and did not believe in God at all. I strained my memory and whispered the first lines of the prayer with just my lips. Her hand on my chest tensed slightly, not hard, but enough for me to feel it, as if warning me. I, having stopped praying, just lay there, afraid to move. In my head, a hoarse voice said over and over again,
Bestia.
Even though nothing mystical happened after that night, my life has become a torture. I'm afraid. I'm so afraid I might go crazy. Maybe I already have. Maybe I went crazy much earlier that night, and everything that happened is a figment of my sick fantasy. But no. Day after day, night after night, I am convinced of the reality of everything that is happening around me. I want to run away, but there is nowhere to go. More and more often I think about suicide, but will it be a consolation, and won't it make things worse? How long will I last if I stay sane? But the worst thing happened yesterday. I was sitting in the kitchen, gloomily flipping through a flipped calendar, when my wife burst into the apartment, glowing with happiness.
Leon. Leon.
I looked up at her tiredly. Yes, darling. The girl literally gasped with happiness.
I didn't tell you. I was at the hospital for a checkup. I'm pregnant, Leon.
I leaned back on the stool, not knowing what to think. The last thread in my head felt like it had burst, and my heart dropped. Pregnant.
And you're not happy about it.
She laughed. I'm glad. Of course you are. I got up from the stool on shaky legs and hugged my wife. I didn't have the strength to feign joy. Let her think I was shocked by the news. All men are shocked by such news.
My dear Leon.
She pulled away slightly and looked into my eyes.
We are going to have a child. Our baby.
Yes. I repeated like a madman. Our child. I looked at her enthusiastic face, her shining eyes, her smile. It was all familiar and familiar. But there was something else in her gaze. It was as if there was something alien behind my wife's round, childlike face. Completely alien, with lips as thin as threads and shimmering silver white eyes. The bestie hadn't gone anywhere.